starts now.
Good morning. I'm Jaciel Cordoba along with Tannery. It is 5:30 and we'll bring you more on today's top stories in a moment, but first the forecast.
That's right. Meteorologist Matt Broderick is standing by in the Weather Center with all the details on the storm. Good morning, Matt.
Hey guys, good morning. Thanks very much. Well, the good news is the steady snow has moved out of the area off toward the north and the east and now slamming into portions of New England. But for us, it has tapered off pretty quickly. Now, the big issue becomes the cold and eventually the wind. And we combine the two, it is going to be very chilly through the day. Wind could gust as high as about 30 miles an hour. Right now, we just dropped 4 degrees within the hour in the Lehigh Valley, so we're down to 20. It's 22 in Reading, 22 in Stroudsburg. Cold spot Lancaster at 19 degrees, Philly and Trenton both at 25. Most of western New Jersey sitting in the lower 20s as well. And again, not a whole lot of wind right now. The wind will be picking up right through the morning hours and certainly this afternoon. And again, it may gust as high as 30 miles an hour. A little bit of a concern, it would be blowing snow, especially in open areas, and that may hinder your cleanup effort a little bit. Here's what we've got left over. Now, most of the advisories and warnings have been canceled. There is still a winter weather advisory for Monroe County, Pike and Wayne counties in PA, also in Warren and Sussex County in Jersey until 9 a.m. this morning. So another few hours for that as the steadiest snow continues to move away. Well, there it was last night, a sea of blue across the region. You can see some of those darker shades, basically what we call thumping. It thumped for several hours on the front end here before this precipitation moved away. And now again, it has moved pretty steadily off toward the north and the east. So just a flurry or two left over as some of that stuff tries to come in from the north and the west. But generally speaking, the snow is over with and we can start the cleanup effort. Brisk and cold with clouds, some sunshine. Could be a leftover flurry, high of 30, but with that wind gusting as high as 30 miles an hour, we'll see wind chills in the teens and lower 20s. Full 6 day in a few more minutes. Let's get an all-important check on those roadways. Here is Rick Edwards standing by in the traffic center. Morning, Rick.
Good morning, Matt. How everybody? You know, not so bad around the Lehigh Valley. Majors are sure in good shape. 78 and 22, all travel lanes are wide open and no reported problems, no major obstructions. Now, we do have a problem in the city of Allentown. Linden Street is closed between 19th and 20th. A water main break of all things with all this snow. So avoid that area. They'll send you around the block. We looked at the Delaware crossing there. 78, not so bad on 22 as well, very light into Phillipsburg. Here past Fogelsville, the other side of the valley, 78 moves nicely. We have no reported crashes, no unusual delays. Now, no big trouble spots reported yet. Once we get some more traffic volume out there, see if any tipsters give us a hand there with any trouble spots. But right now, the crews have done a good job of keeping ahead of this thing. Even the hill-to-hill bridge in Bethlehem, it's wet, not even, snow-packed. So we are in good shape. It might take you a little bit longer to get to where you're going because speeds will be down and different degrees of caution, of course, as we get the morning crowd out there. And in Berks County, we're good across the north on Interstate 78. All lanes are wide open. No reported problems there. We're good around town on the bypasses, 422. No real problems either side of the city. You get closer to Pottstown, you crowd up, of course, with the early morning volume, but no reported closures or obstructions reported into Montgomery County. That's your traffic brought to you by the State Theater in Easton. Call 1-800-999-STATE or visit statetheater.org. Now back downstairs to Eve and Jaciel.
Snow arrived in full force overnight, and this morning, drivers are facing a few extra challenges.
WFMZ meteorologist Mark Shanaberger is standing by live at the American Plaza in Allentown with a close-up look at conditions there. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Jaciel and Eve, and good morning, everyone. This morning, as we made our way across the Lehigh Valley, went through Whitehall and Allentown, of course, we're sitting here at American Plaza. We noticed that most of the major highways did have at least one lane clear. Now, this is Hamilton Street behind me, and you can see that the eastbound lane is pretty much clear. There is some snow on the westbound lane, but for the most part, traffic is moving along just fine, a little bit slower this morning than normal, but for the most part, that's the scenario that we ran into. Even on some of the secondary streets, really well cleaned this morning. The road crews did a great job through the overnight period of getting these roads cleared for the morning commute. So you may run into some snow on some of the roadways, but what we ran into was, for the most part, cleared roadways or just a little bit of snow on them. So take your time, give yourself a little extra time to get to where you're going. Now, the snow, of course, has come to an end here, but temperatures have dropped, and it is a little bit cooler outside. But for the most part, I think if you had the hat, the gloves, and a heavy jacket on, you're going to be fine this morning. Now, as far as the snow itself goes, it's a lighter snow. It's not that heavy snow that you can make a great snowball with. Of course, you can make snowballs with them, and I have been hit with a couple already this morning. So you can make snowballs with this snow, but it is the lighter stuff. If you're going outside to shovel some of this stuff, please take your time. Try not to lift with your pack. Try to lift with your legs, and please be very cautious because you could overheat very quickly, so you don't want to do that either. But for the most part, traffic is moving along fine this morning. Like I said, the roadway behind me, Hamilton Street, and there you have American Parkway, which turns into 3rd Street. There's a little bit more snow on that than there is on Hamilton Street, but for the most part, the roadways look pretty good here in Allentown, and the same situation for the roadways in Whitehall. Live from American Plaza in Allentown, I'm WFMZ meteorologist Mark Shanaberger, back inside you guys.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Already hit with snowballs at 5:36 a.m. That's not a good sign.
You guys know Spin. It doesn't take take much for him to get up in the morning.
Crazy guy. I just saw a truck speed by you there. Some people are not going too slow.
Like I said, I don't know if it was necessarily speeding, but traffic is moving along a little bit slower. But the roadways aren't really that bad out here at this hour, and traffic has been moving along at a pretty good clip, considering that we did deal with snow last night.
All right, Mark, thanks for the update.
Yep.
Well, things are also going to be a bit slow this morning in Berks County.
WFMZ's Melissa Fullerton is joining us live from the Crown Plaza Hotel in Wyomissing with the latest conditions there. Is that where you stayed overnight, Melissa?
That is where I stayed overnight, guys. It was very nice in there. So thank you to the Crown Plaza. They were very friendly. And, you know, I'm going to second Mark on the conditions. It's really not that bad out here. On the scale of like Olympic snowboarder to winter wimp, I'm definitely on the wimpy side, but it's really not that bad when you walk out the door. The wind is very low at this point. We don't have any snow falling here in Berks County. It's chilly. You're going to want to bundle up, but it's really not that terrible. The snow down here in Berks, I don't know if you're going to get any snowballs out of it. It's pretty fluffy, and my cameraman Patrick is not as brutal as some others, so I haven't been hit with any snowballs. I don't think you're going to be making any snowmen down here in Berks County, but I want to give you a look at Crossing Drive. That's what's here behind me. You can see the Home Depot and Best Buy. That's where we are this morning. This road, and I would say that's probably the case with a lot of city side streets here in Berks County, is still pretty messy. We have seen crews coming through, salt trucks, plow trucks, so they're working on it, but I wouldn't be going very fast on this road. If you look all the way out there, you can see the lights on 222, the Warren Street bypass moving there. Traffic seems to be moving at a pretty good clip. I can't tell you from where we're standing what the conditions are like, but if you just look at the lights of the traffic moving by, it seems to be moving fairly quickly. So I'd say your main roads are probably a little better than your side streets, like I said this morning, but wherever you're going, take it easy. Like Mark said, you do want to be careful out there. A lot of 2-hour delays here in Berks County, so if you're waking up, checking that, bundle up, go back to sleep for a couple hours. But I have a feeling as the morning goes on, we're going to see conditions improving. We're seeing a lot of plow trucks out here this morning. They're working hard, beeping, a lot of happy plow trucks out here. So we're probably going to see things improve this morning. I'm going to predict, and I'm not going to get a lot of young fans from this, excuse me, but you're probably going to end up going to school. I don't see a lot of cancellations this morning because it really doesn't look that bad out here. But we're going to keep checking in. We'll keep you posted. If they cancel, good for you. I'll be wrong, but it seems to be not so bad out here this morning.
Yeah, I was checking the website and noticed that Hamburg had a 2-hour delay at this point, Melissa. So,
I was checking our website. A lot of people seem to have 2 hours. I wasn't seeing a lot of cancellations, so
All right, Melissa.
We'll see.
Well, thanks for braving the elements for us out there this morning.
Oh, no problem. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
You notice the snow blowing by, Melissa. That's another story today. The wind will be an issue. Well, it's always a busy time for the folks at PennDot when the snow arrives.
It sure is, and trucks have been out since last night to clear off the snow and make the roads as safe as possible. Ron
Young from PennDot is on the phone right now to give us an update on how things are going. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, even Jaciel.
Ron, we know you started out yesterday. How did your crews attack this storm?
Well, we had enough materials on the roads from the previous storm that we didn't have the anti-ice ahead of time. There was enough salt residue on the road to help the melting process. They were loaded up and ready to go, waiting for the storm to come last night. They were out all night through the morning, putting down materials, and as you're Folks have reported most of the major roads are wet. However, all the speeds have been reduced on the major expressways to 45 miles per hour for everyone's safety. As the day goes by and we assess the situation, we may put them back to normal speeds.
Any problem areas out there this morning, Ron? Any areas that you guys are going to, pay extra close attention to this morning?
Well, now once we have the major roads in good shape and they're getting there, we'll switch over to the secondary roads. Most of the secondary roads are passable. They're probably not clear yet, but they're passable. As the temperatures rise during the day, that'll help us, but people need to use extra caution this morning if they are going out.
All right, Ron, we'll check in with you later. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Officials in Allentown had more than just snow.
Now to even Jaciel.
Thanks, Rick. The winter storm that arrived last night is making things messy for people who are out on the roads this morning.
Yeah, we continue our team coverage now with a report from WFMZ's Joscelyn Moes, who has been traveling through Northampton County in the 69 News Snow Patrol. Joscelyn, where are you now? Good morning.
Good morning, even Jaciel. We're on Market Street, which is just off of Main Street in Bethlehem. Now, this is one of the areas you do want to watch out for this morning. You can see this hill is still a bit snow covered, and as you're coming down it, you do want to make sure you brake early. Otherwise, when you go to stop, it could be a bit tricky. Now, other areas you want to watch out for this morning, the usual bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps. When it snows, they do get a bit slick. Now, all morning long, we've been talking about the wind. Here in Bethlehem, doesn't seem to be much of a problem. It really hasn't picked up at all. I do have to say, for it being January in the middle of winter, it's relatively comfortable outside. You do want to bundle up, but all in all, not too bad. That is the situation here in Bethlehem. Let's send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Jocelyn. The snow is also creating tricky travel conditions for folks in Allentown.
That's right. Meteorologist Mark Shanaberger is standing by live at American Parkway Plaza with a look at things there. Mark, how are things where you are? Good morning.
Good morning, even Jaciel, and good morning, everyone. Conditions not too bad here. There's a little bit of snow on the westbound lane of Hamilton Street. The eastbound lane, it is basically clear at this point. A little bit of snow on there, but you can see blacktop if you're looking at the eastbound lane of Hamilton Boulevard. Now, as far as American Parkway and 3rd Street, those both have a little bit more snow on them, but still cars are moving along at a slower pace, but still moving along at a pretty good clip this morning. As far as some of the other areas that we saw on our way over here, Whitehall was basically clear. 145, we saw at least 2 lanes clear. 22, there was at least one, probably 1.5 lanes clear. So most of the major highways, as Rick mentioned earlier, are fine in this immediate area, but still some of the secondary roadways are probably snow covered, so you want to take your time. Give yourself a little extra time to get to where you're going this morning. And if you have to go outside and shovel some of the snow off your sidewalks or your driveway, this is a lighter snow, so if you give yourself a little bit of time, you could probably just push it rather than lifting it up. So that is some good news as far as this snow goes. It's a little bit lighter, a little fluffier stuff than what we normally deal with. And even though it's not good snowball making weather, somehow my cameraman has found a way to make some snowballs from time to time this morning. Live from American Parkway in Allentown, I'm WFMZ meteorologist Mark Shanaberger. Back inside to you guys.
All right, Mark, stay safe out there. Have fun. You need a little shield or some sort of fort.
I do. I need like that Captain American shield.
Work on that.
All in good fun, Mark.
Thank you. Well, it isn't just the drivers who will be affected by the winter storm. People planning to fly out of town may have to make some adjustments as well.
Susan Kittle from Lehigh Valley International Airport is joining us on the phone right now with more on that. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. With the situation in the southeast, with all the delays there, closings at the Atlanta airports, how has that impacted us here in the Lehigh Valley?
Well, we have been experiencing cancellations and delays in the southeast, not only to Atlanta, but to Charlotte as well. But as of late yesterday, they started getting things cleared up, and then, our snowstorm came into our area.
Yeah, and Susan, give us a progress report on how things are this morning. Are there a lot of delays as a result of the snow we saw overnight?
Yes, we are experiencing delays and some cancellations, depending on where you're going. We recommend that passengers, whether they're picking people up or going out on flights, to check our website, which is lvia.org, or call their airline directly. The airport's website flight information is live directly from the airlines.
What is your airport doing special to handle this storm? Are the crews being called in earlier? What's going on there?
Actually, we've had a crew there all night. And they have been clearing the runways and parking lots, making sure that everything is open for passengers. And we actually did have some flights come in later, during the middle of the night. So, we did have to keep the airport open.
Were those on-time flights or were they delayed?
They were delayed flights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And some private flights as well.
Okay, Susan. Well, thanks so much for the update, and we'll check in with you later.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Have a good one. We want to remind you, you can get the latest on the storm.